But let me ask you.
Yeah, I would love to
I
have
want
you
to ask you specifically about something you've been promoting that I think is an outrageous conspiracy theory, very offensive, very wrong, and I think you've done it just for clout and clicks. Now, you can respond, but it's this question about the French First Lady, Brigitte Macron, who you keep saying is a man. You produced zero evidence that she is a man. It's been deeply offensive to her husband, President Macron, to all of her family. You keep promoting it to millions of people that follow you. And I simply ask why. She's not a man, she's a woman.
I'm happy to answer the question. I think Brigitte Macron is a trans woman. And I think the fact that when Brigitte Macron... Okay.
Where's your evidence that she is?
Well, Piers, the thing is I'm not allowed to speak after you ask me a question, so I don't really know what the purpose of this is anymore. You just seem to kind of be saying your own thoughts. So I'm just going to be silent here and allow you to monologue.
Where is your evidence that Brigitte Macron is transgender?
Well, I did an entire series talking about where this came from. And first and foremost, you're pretending that I'm the one that promulgated this. In fact, it was 3 journalists in France that worked on the story for 3 years. Right. And they teamed up with genealogists. And they came across, and it was absolutely fascinating. I read the entire report, and everybody watching this, rather than listen to Piers Morgan giving you a bunch of adjectives, ridiculous, it's awful, I can't believe that she's saying this. Why don't you go pursue a primary source? Why don't you go find the articles that were written by the French journalists? Because this did not come from me. This came from French journalists. And while they were working, let me finish a statement, Piers. Okay. While they were working on this piece, the Macrons sent their secret service to interrupt this. This is not a normal thing that you do when somebody's about to publish a lie. You would just say it's ridiculous, publish it, and we'll dispute it. They sent the secret service to intimidate these journalists. They took their phones. They held them. They wanted to know everyone who was working on the piece. And what they uncovered was absolutely fascinating. What they uncovered was the fact that Brigitte Macron, who alleges that the person that they are saying is her is actually her brother, who's never been seen and who they never produced, that Brigitte Macron lived as a man for 30 years and then transitioned at the age of 30. So he's trying to tell you this is crazy, this is wacky. Why don't you just go pursue a primary source?
Well,
I'm not the primary source. It would be very easy to dispute this. All Brigitte Macron would have to do is produce a single photo of her in the first 30 years of her life, or to go on a little walk with her brother, who she alleges that she is not. She refuses to do either. She's suing people, and the one photo that they keep producing is a photo of her daughter to phone that has been photoshopped. Let me get a word in, please.
Brigitte Macron, as you know, has a libel trial against Natasha Ray, who made the claims that the French First Lady was born a man called Jean-Michel Trogneux. It's due to take place imminently, and we will get to the bottom of this. And I'll bet you, why don't we have like £100,000 bet that it establishes beyond any doubt to a charity of your choice and mine, $100,000, make it dollars, right now, that it is established beyond any doubt that she was born a woman. Do you accept that bet?
I just want to be very clear. If you are asking me after we have just seen these Trump trials that you and I are going to place... Whoa, no. Stop cutting me off after you ask me a question. It's really just...
accept the bet? The question was, do you accept the bet?
I am answering your question, but I am allowed to answer your question, Piers. After we have just seen these trials with Trump, if you're asking me to wage a bet on the basis of what happens in a trial and in a courtroom, the state versus some journalists, you are out of your mind if you think that would be the wager. So I'll do it to you this way. Piers, you've got a team of journalists. Can you just simply find, she claims that the person that they found is actually her brother. Do you mind just finding me some photos of Brigitte Macron growing up for the first 30 years of her life? Could you find, and we can make it shorter, I'll give you the $100,000. Could you just find her brother, who she claims all the photos that they found of Jean-Michel Trogneux, her brother? She says, that's actually my brother. Okay, great. Could you just find a photo and make it easier? We don't have to wait for a trial to finish. Just find a photo and produce it. You and I can do it live on Twitter. You're going to say, this is the photo that I have found of Brigitte Macron. And I'll say, oh, you $100,000.
So even though in February 2023, a French court convicted 2 women of libel for spreading the transphobic rumours because it was untrue, even though she's suing again against the people who originally made these claims, even if all this comes back and says it's complete lies, you just say, well, it's the legal system. So there's actually no way of ever disproving.
I don't need a legal. I'm saying we don't need a legal system.
There's no way of disproving your lie, is there?
Piers, we just need a photo. I just told you how to disprove it. Just a photo.
Oh, yeah,
30
I
years
can
of
imagine
life
if they
and a brother.
produce one, what you would say. Well, it's a fake. It's a fake.
No,
It's what
no.
conspiracy
No.
theories do, Candace.
Okay, so Piers,
I don't believe for a moment.
Do you realize how
I don't
extraordinary
believe
the
for a
conspiracy
moment
theory
you
is
think
that
Brigitte
it's plausible
Macron is a man.
that a first lady of the French state is incapable of simply producing photos of her for the first 30 years of her life, where she allegedly had 3 kids. That's the conspiracy.
So you're saying all her children.
It's so easy. It's such a dumb thing. It's so easy to debunk.
Who had her
then
children?
Just do it, Piers.
If she was born a man, who had her kids? Who gave birth to them?
Their research from the genealogists and the journalists that worked on this for 3 years is that she actually fathered her children.
She fathered her children.
Mm-hmm.
Even as you say that, you know it's complete nonsense.
No, I actually think it's a complete nonsense to not just present something as simple as a photo of yourself for the first 30 years of your life. So no matter how many times, no matter how many adjectives you use here, it's a very easy thing. Like if I have 3 kids. If you said to me, Candace, I believe you didn't live for the first 30 years, I would just give you 80,000 pictures of me and call you completely insane. I wouldn't sue you because it's ridiculous.
Why should Brigitte Macron have to do anything?
Because it takes less time to show some photos of yourself than it does to sue journalists in court and to have the Secret Service go after them.
Because I do think
when they're working, she's not acting like she has nothing to hide.
Yeah, but Candace, here's the problem. You see, I think
also we know that Emmanuel Macron is also a gay man, according to the person who came out right when he was elected and said that he was sleeping with Macron in all those articles, which lends more plausibility. And beyond the fact whether you think she's a man or not, do you not think the story is weird? Of the age difference, like hitting on a 14-year-old little boy that you go to school. So there's perversion there. It's sick. The French people have been outraged by this.
I do think that's weird. Yes, I do.
Yes, so there's some weird perversion going on in that relationship.
Yeah,
we know Emmanuel Macron had affairs with men. We know that we can't trace Brigitte Macron for the first 30 years of her life.
Yeah.
It seems pretty simple to just come out and say, like, there's something weird happening in that relationship.
Candace, here's the problem. You see, I do think you're a smart person. I do think you're a compelling talker. I understand why you have a big following. And you make a lot of interesting points about all sorts of issues, right? I do genuinely believe that. But when you set your stall, you actually said here, I would stake my entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron is in fact a man. You tweeted that in March. That's the problem. In that second, with that statement, your entire professional reputation goes up in smoke. Because it's a complete load of bullshit. You have not disproven anything.
You have an entire. You're just using adjectives here.
All right, Joe Biden's a woman. Show me the proof he's not.
We are living in.
Show me the proof Joe Biden's not a woman.
Excuse me.
Show me the proof Donald Trump isn't transgender.
There's tons of photos of Joe Biden growing up.
I think Donald Trump was born a woman. Show me the proof.
Okay, there are tons of photos of Trump 20 years ago on Oprah. What are you saying? That's why I'm saying it's this easy.
I'm saying you don't believe this. You've just done it. You've just done it to run riot with a conspiracy theory.
Okay, you can keep saying conspiracy theory. Just know that we're living in this post-mainstream media world, so it's not going to discount my thought. People are not going to stop listening to me. In fact, what's going to happen on the basis of this interview is more people are going to go pursue the primary source and read the report of these 3 journalists that have been harassed by the state of France.
I hope they do.
Stop cutting me off. Exactly, because they cannot trust people like you to just keep calling everything conspiracy theories. It doesn't. It's not going to impact my platform whatsoever. In fact, while you were peddling conspiracy theories, whether that be BLM or COVID, I was the person that was telling them the opposite, and those things turned out to be true. So what's actually happened is that I have built up a repertoire, someone that they can trust, because they know that I don't just say what the state wants me to say, and that I'm willing to question things. What I have said on my platform multiple times is I'm willing to say that this report has been disputed. It just simply hasn't been yet. All they keep doing is showing a picture of Tafan, Brigitte's daughter, and recolorized in black and white, and going, oh, no, this is her as a kid.
And as a mother,
it's 30 years of living. Just show a photo of yourself. We don't need to be debating it. Just show a photo of yourself.
And as a mother yourself, you have no qualms about the hurt that you're causing her kids with this kind of claptrap.
I mean, please stop with the sensitivity. You've decided that you want to lead a country, okay? Honesty is demanded. More journalists should be prodding into the story internationally to see what's actually going on here, because at best, you have a perverted story that, in my view, leads way too closely into pedophilia. Just the story of how they got together is weird. You have a allegedly gay man, the person who's had gay affairs with him has spoken out, talked about the drugs that he has done with Macron, and you have these 2 people who are utterly demented leading the state of France. So I'm not going to sit here and go into, but you're a mommy, don't you care, Candace, about how she's feeling? No, it's perverted. At worst, at worst, at best, pardon, Brigitte Macron is a pervert.